patient and stand firm, because the Lord's coming is near. Behold, the judge is standing at the door. That is the message for us here on this third of 4 Sundays in Advent. The time draws short. The Advent season's close is nearly upon us. We ought to be able to see the home stretch from here. The finish line will appear just as we come around the final turn. And here in this third of 4 Sundays, that is our message. Be patient. Stand firm. Like the name that I reminded us at the beginning of the service. Gaudete. Rejoice. Something is different about this service, even if it's Advent, which itself is a different kind of time. We went purple, and all of a sudden we go pink, and it's supposed to point something out that is different about this. And I think if you look at it, it kind of makes sense that it's happening here and not some other time during the 4 weeks of Advent. Now I've talked about this being Gaudete Sunday. Well, in different times and in different places, it's had different names. Each of these names, it has kind of a different little slant or a little emphasis or a point that it's trying to make. Some of you may know this because we hit the pink candle as Rose Sunday. A Sunday of peace. A Sunday of refreshment. That if you are taking your Advent seriously, prepare, 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 get ready, get ready, get ready, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, well, that can wear you out. Even if you're preparing the right way and for the right reason, for whom we are being prepared, it's still wear you out. And so it almost makes practical sense to say, okay, you're past the midway point now. You're on number 3 of 4. This is a pretty good time to take a break. This is a pretty good Sunday to take a deep breath. Okay. Right? It kind of works. By being past the midway point, you get the refreshment that you need to push on through to the end and to finish strong, but you're not doing it too early. Now's about the time where you sort of need it. You sort of need that chance to catch your breath. You sort of need that opportunity to kind of gather up your resources one more time to take that last deep plunge. You do it too early, and it doesn't get the effect that you might want. You do it too late, and it's kind of like, well, what's the point? But you've gone now past the halfway point, so after you, okay, you can say, oh, look, I have less than halfway to go. Perfect. It makes sense now. We have done what we ought to do. We've sought to prepare our hearts, our souls, our very lives for the gift of Christ at Christmas and for His triumphant return. If we took seriously some of the practical elements like last week, one of the practical but particularly good ways to be prepared, from last week we talked about what? Reconciliation. For in Christ He has brought us the ministry of reconciliation, that through Christ God was reconciling the world back to Him, and through that grace we might be reconciled one to another. So be reconciled. Forgive. And if you have caused the offense, seek forgiveness. For if God Himself has forgiven you, then who in the world are we to withhold that forgiveness from someone else? When we forgive and are forgiven, when we are reconciled one to another, it is then that we might offer praise to God in a unified voice with a reconciled witness. And there is great power and great joy. But it's not easy. Straightforward, simple, practical, but not easy. When carrying something, the act and process of laying it down takes its toll. The sacrifices to be made. Maybe a sacrifice of pride, sacrifice of awkwardness, or even suffering. To be able to forgive someone else, or to take that step to say, please forgive me. It can wear you out. It can be a big deal. And if we have been taking this Advent time of preparation seriously and well, we might be to this point now, past the halfway point, and we really do need that break. So here comes Rose Sunday, and it breathes peace, the peace which passeth understanding. Don't knock yourself out. Don't flop and fail before you cross the finish line. Take your deep breath now. Be at peace. Some of you might even know this Sunday through a different way. Rather than Gaudete Sunday, a lot more Catholic, there's an Anglican title to this Sunday as well. You want to know that one? Stir Up Sunday. Now, when I first heard that, all I could think of was horses and saddles. No, that's totally wrong. But if you look back in the collect today still preserves this understanding. How did our prayer that began the service, how did that start? Stir up, O Lord, within our spirit, who are beset by sin. It's taking this third Sunday, now past the halfway point, where we can see the home stretch in front of us, where as we cross the last turn, we ought to be able to see the finish line within Advent, and the finish line within our lives. And saying, Lord, stir up your power within us. It's like saying God's power has sort of settled down into the bottom of our spirits. And we need God to take his great big spoon and stir it up, bring it all up, and mix it all back in. Stirring up, and that seems real active, and that seems real kind of dramatic, that peace and rest, I don't really quite see the point, except it's totally there. Because think about it for a second. If we have taken Advent preparation seriously, we can indeed wear ourselves out, body, mind, and spirit. And as we take the peaceable break of Rose Sunday, what better time than to say, Lord, not my effort, but your power. Not me pulling myself back up with my bootstraps so that I can really hit Christmas hard. And it'll be great if I have to kill you to do it. But to say, Lord, I think I'm getting worn out. My power is insufficient. Yet yours is always more than enough. Stir up, not my power, not my feeble hands or my failing effort. Stir up, O Lord, your power within me. I am besieged and I am beset by my own frailties, by my own sin. Your power, God, bring it back up within me so that I will finish strong. I will finish well. I will reach Christmas, not through my power, but yours. I shall reach the end of my life and the end of all mortal days and the beginning of all true things, not through my power, but through yours. So stir it up. Stir it up. Stir your power up within me. And it all fits, and it all works. It doesn't necessarily look like that from the outside, but put the pieces together, and they are bound one to another, to be at rest and to be at peace, and to ask that God would stir up his own power so that we might finish well, faithfully, and strong. What binds it, what connects it, it is our response to that happening together. Quite simply, Gaudete, we rejoice. In the peace which passes understanding, in God's power being stirred up within us, we then might rejoice. Rejoice in spirit and in truth. Rejoice faithfully and well. Rejoice that Emmanuel shall come to us. Christmas is soon. His return is coming. And now on this third Sunday, the candle points out that this time is different. So be at peace. Have God's power stirred up. And rejoice. There's something that our scripture readings, I think, are undergirding these connections with. And again, it's a little bit practical, sort of like last week. But the practical statement this time on the third Sunday of Advent is to be patient. Patience, after all, is a virtue. It's not one I am over fond of. Not one that I'm always particularly great at. But a virtue nonetheless. It is a virtue of the mind, yet it works in concert with our bodies. It works in concert with our emotions, our feelings. Patience directs us towards God's good in His time, and it restrains our own passions. It restrains our own desires. It restrains our, give me, mine, now. It says, do not give up the good you have already been granted for a good that is perceived that you desire. Do not forego the blessings you have been offered and chase after those that might catch your eye. Be patient. Trust. Patience in that sense is related to contentment. Contentment that says, kind of like we read just a few weeks ago, I'm not saying this because I'm in need, for I have learned to be content, writes Paul, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need. I know what it is to have plenty. I've learned the secret to being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all things through Him who gives me strength. Contentment says, Lord, I will rest here and I will rest in you. For I know that you love me, you care for me, you will provide for me. I don't have to freak out. I don't have to chase it. I don't have to use the force and strength of my own will to reach out and grab it and strangle it to pull it towards me. But you're going to take care of me. And I can be satisfied. And I can be content. It's a little bit like our Advent trees. Normally I've already referred to them by now. We're already deep into Advent. I haven't said a word yet, so I'll do it now. Those aren't Christmas trees, remember? Not yet. No lights, no ornaments, no garland, no presents, no nothing. They are signs and symbols of the time. Christmas is coming, but it's not here yet. Even these trees say, be patient. Be patient. The good is coming, but it is not here yet. You do not have it in your hands, but don't freak out, don't flip out, don't reach out and grab and grasp it and pull it in. But His promises shall be fulfilled. Be content with the blessing that you have received in this time, in this place, and in this moment. And trust that in His right time, those right blessings will come as well. This is not patience. We call that the pee-pee dance. Says, okay, I'll just go before you make it. Patience, instead, that virtue of the mind connected to the body, to the emotion, says, I am in God's peace. And I'm content regardless of my circumstances. Though I desire a good that is not here, I will trust Him. And if I am suffering what is hard and bad and difficult and scary, I will trust Him. For His good will come, and it will come in His timing. We can't make Christmas come in by stomping our feet and being real mad about it. Tearing off days from our calendar doesn't make it approach any sooner. The same thing is operative within our own lives. Either enjoying and appreciating the blessings that we currently have, or enduring with patience the difficulties we experience now. And trusting that the Lord's blessings and provisions shall come to be. If you were at the Christmas play last night, perhaps you heard Priscilla recite Romans 8:18. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Even in your hard circumstances, it it is worth it to wait. It is worth it to be patient. There is no difficulty, no turmoil, no tragedy that outstrips the glory that the Lord has in store for us. There is no difficulty or darkness within this life that outshines the glorious light of His presence that He has promised for us forever and ever. If we experience it in this mortal life, or if we must be patient and receive it in the life eternal which is to come. It's worth it. It's worth it. Be patient. Be content. Rejoice. Don't be the kid who's been looking through every closet and through the garage trying to find the Christmas presents early. Did you do that? Now, I never did that. Honestly, my parents did that. But I did. But honestly, that was more of a temperament issue. I wasn't built that way. But I had friends who did. And I was so grateful that was not a temptation for me because I saw what they missed out on. They were the kid who was looking through things and they found stuff. It was almost like stealing their own joy. Well, great, you found it. Now what are you going to do? Nothing. The ones who played with it early invariably broke it. So they got nothing for Christmas. And if you found it early and you got to secretly wrapped it back up and people know, how did you spend the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And then once Christmas morning got here, everyone else is like, what? This is great. And you're like, finally. Is that what you do? Is that the blessing of Christmas? To be able to, finally I can wrap it. Yeah, I know. Man, I've known for weeks. Just give it to me. Haven't you missed out? Haven't you missed out on the particular joy of Christmas to open up and share that surprise with your family? Well, you're not kids anymore. So be grown-ups in your spirit. Be grown-ups in your faith. Be grown-ups in your relationship with the Lord, and don't try to go through the closets in your life finding all the gifts early. You will steal your own joy from yourself. No one will be poor for it but you. In His right timing are His right gifts. Trust Him. He won't let you down. Trust Him. The candles will continue to be lit, and we will make it to Christmas. Trust Him. Even through the difficulties of this life, His provision is sure, and His triumph is a certainty. And glory shall be revealed, whether in this mortal life or the life eternal to come. So take this Sunday as a blessed opportunity. Breathe in that peace which passes understanding. Don't freak out today. We've got a lot of stuff going on today. And it might sound like a funny day to say, oh, be at rest, be at rest. Just be at rest in a different way. Be at rest. Go to the Christmas play. But by receiving those particular blessings that the Lord has for you today. Don't try to make it. Don't try to manufacture. Don't try to say, by my own effort, this will be the greatest Christmas ever, because you'll get to Christmas and you will either be exhausted or frustrated. Trust Him. His blessings and His time, or both, are better and deeper and greater than we would have chosen for ourselves. Be at rest today. Ask for His power to be stirred up within you and not your effort alone. Finish well. Finish faithfully. Finish strong. Emmanuel shall come to thee, therefore, on this day. Rejoice. Rejoice. Emmanuel shall come at Christmas. Emmanuel shall come again. But you gotta be patient.